We're a couple weeks into 2025 and we get our first lunation. It's the Cancer full moon. It's complicated. The first couple weeks of this year have been complicated, emotional, challenging. We've had the Mars Pluto opposition and Mars going retrograde. It's going into Cancer. And hey, that's where we find it. So it's adding to that complexity, the feelings. Why is it weird? Well, because Mars is in exile in Cancer. So that brings this feeling of emotional disturbance in a way. It's feeling like defensiveness, a need to protect the family, the home, your deepest feelings, putting up a wall basically and fighting. Did you see that movie Gladiator? The new one, Gladiator 2? We just saw that recently and it was really interesting. The feeling of fighting for the home, fighting for a, why did I have to bring up Gladiator? It's about fighting for an ideal. Okay, so that's part of what this full moon has in it. Whereas new moons are focusing on the future, what you want to grow, build, manifest. The full moon is an illumination. It's illuminating something that needs to be seen. We've been dealing with a lot in the first couple weeks of this year, and this is a moment to sit, be here now in the moment with this full moon, and feel something. So to do that, I'm bringing in a song that makes me feel something, and it's Clair de Lune. There's a story around this song, and it is about the moonlight. And the reason I do this is not to talk a lot about the jargon of astrology necessarily, but to give you a feeling of what this is. This moment, this full moon is Clair de Lune. Clair de Lune was inspired by a poem, a French poem, and this moment in Debussy's life that we're going to look into a little deeper. When I found this video of this artist, I can't remember his name, but I'll put it in the description below. He's a master at the French piano repertoire. So he was playing this song in Steinway Hall in New York City, and as he's playing it, I'm reading through the comments. There were 3 comments that just touched my heart. 2 uplifted my heart and 1 kind of broke it. So I wanted to share that with you too, just to give you an idea of the nuance of this full moon and how it all builds together, of the feeling of it. Story number 1. My entire life, my dad played blues and jazz. One day we took my brother to the airport and there was this grand piano in the middle of the airport. Dad had gotten old, he was 86. I heard this beautiful music and I turned around and there was a crowd surrounding the piano. Daddy was playing this song. My mouth dropped open. We never heard him play classical music before. I was so impressed. Thank you for this memory. Story number 2. My mother played this at the piano in my house when I was really young. Not this well, but it didn't matter. It did annoy me as a child when she played it because I couldn't hear the TV or Nintendo or other useless thing I was doing. Now, it's the fondest memory I have of her. The song always makes me pause when I hear it and reflect. Tears at times. I hope everyone can have something in their life that not only is so soothing like this to me, but that brings their parents to life like this does for me. So sweet. And the third story. I haven't heard this piece in years, 8 to be exact. When I was little, my mom played it every single day. It never got old. I'd fall asleep on the couch listening to her and wake up in bed tucked in so carefully like she was still there with me. The music wasn't just a song, it was her way of telling me a story, of saying, I'm here. Even when she started teaching me to play the piano at 4, I could never make it sound the way she did. Hers was warm and alive, and mine was just practice. Then everything changed when I turned 9. My parents' fights turned into silence, and out of nowhere, she filed for divorce. The last day she spent at our house is burned into my mind. She played that piece over and over all day long, from morning until the sky turned dark. When I woke up the next day, she was packing. I remember standing there, confused, asking where she was going. She said, I'm going away for a while. Be a good girl, don't get into trouble, all right? I didn't. I watched her put her things in the car and drive away, convinced she'd come back. But she never did. That night when my dad came home, I asked him where she was, and he just shrugged and told me to get ready for bed. But how could I? I needed her. I needed the lullaby. It didn't hit me until later that she was really gone. I cried for hours. I kept playing the piano, trying to hold on to that piece of her. Last week, I logged into my old Facebook account. the one my parents used when I was little to post my photos. It never occurred to me that my mom is still friends with me on Facebook. I never logged onto this account, and the first thing I saw was her at a piano recital. She'd remarried 2 years after the divorce, and now she had 2 kids, a 7-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy, and was expecting another child. When I saw that post, something inside me broke. I was mad. I couldn't stop crying. I scrolled through more posts, saw more videos of her with her kids, and then there it was, a video of her playing the piece she used to play for me. Except now, she was playing it for her daughter. And then today, the YouTube algorithm decided to throw me a curveball and played a video of this piece. As I'm typing right now, I'm listening to this piece with all these memories crashing over me. I'm 17 years old now, studying music at an institute in Austria. Somehow, I'm still that kid on the couch hoping to hear my mom's lullaby one more time. Mars and Cancer, man. Retrograde. That break your heart a little bit? Breaks my heart a little bit. This exquisite composition was inspired by Paul Verlaine's poem Clair de Lune, and this is what's so beautiful about creativity. You never know what's going to happen. When you create something, when you put something out into the world, it inspires other people. It creates this Russian doll effect almost, where more things can be made from the beauty that you express, from your unique perspective. Clair de Lune by Paul Verlaine is written in French. I have an English translation here. I'm going to read it to you right now. Your soul is like a landscape fantasy, where masks and Bergamasks in charming wise strum lutes and dance, just a bit sad to be hidden beneath their fanciful disguise. Singing in a minor mode of life's largesse and all victorious love, they yet seem quite reluctant to believe their happiness, and their song mingles with the pale moonlight, the calm, pale moonlight, whose sad beauty beaming sets the birds softly dreaming in the trees and makes the marbled fountains gushing, streaming, slender jet fountains sob their ecstasies. What does it mean? Okay, so what he's trying to say here is the soul is this magical place. It's a place where feelings can run wild. It's like a dream. It's a dance. The dancers inside of your soul are also wearing this mask, doing this Bergamask dance, the Bergamasks, which was a traditional dance that originated in Bergamo, Italy. So just imagine this masquerade. And it's a metaphor that we have these public faces that we express, these feelings, these ideas, and we have private hearts. We can be celebrating life and love, but also hiding a piece of us, really reluctant to believe in happiness, because happiness is fleeting, and that's part of the human condition, and we always want something else. Once we get it, we want more. And then the dance that they're doing, it's a dance that's in a minor key. That's a subliminal feeling of how life can just be sweet, but tinged with sadness. Now, Clair de Lune is also technically written in D flat major, but it has that dreamy vibe, sad vibe. It's kind of like a minor key. It's not all in minor key, but it uses notes. It has that feeling. It's a real transitional story. This whole song is a story. It's like a journey from solitude to an apex point where, there's a lot of feeling back to this solitude moment. The poem is expressing how moonlight can change the mood of everything. It changes everything. It makes everything more reflective, more magical. And it's showing the illumination of what is behind the mask, what can come out, that even nature can get in on it. The birds are dreaming, the fountains are streaming, and they're in ecstasy and in the sorrow, even the water that's coming out. It's all connected together in this nighttime world. And some of the best moments in life are mixed with sadness, with melancholy beauty. In the late 19th century, there was a music critic and a writer named Lawrence Gilman. He said, Clair de Lune is Debussy's most perfect piece of impressionism. It is the quintessence of the art of suggestion, of the revelation of what lies behind the veil of sound. Yeah, you can feel that. This full moon exemplifies this. The full moon in Cancer is a revelation of what lies behind the veil, behind the mask, the illuminated revelation that may be time to dive into that emotional history, to confront the loss, like that girl and her mom watching. Can you imagine seeing your mom on Facebook playing that song? That's the melancholy beauty that She is a piano player now at 17, and she is taking all that in. Right, that's Mars in Cancer retrograde. It's exactly what it is. It helps us rethink how we've handled emotional pain in the past, revisiting the experience, hopefully seeing a path forward through it. Additionally, in this, a little more astrology is there's a Uranus Sun trine that's embedded into this moon, and also the moon is making a sextile to the Uranus. What does that mean? It just, there's more creative freedom that can be harnessed, something that can be felt and brought into the material world, because we have these earth signs. The water can water the earth and create something that you can come out of this emotional experience, the last few weeks, whatever's going on in your life, your world, the world, and you can make something like Debussy did, like the poet did, something like that. It can be used to express yourself more authentically. That's what Uranus always offers. And it can be unexpected, like maybe you're not used to listening to classical music and you listen to the song, or maybe you don't want to read poetry, but you're inspired to, and maybe you write something even though you've never done it before. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about, and that it can inspire other creatitions, whatever that word is, creatives, creative people. We're all creative people. We all have it inside of us, and that is, it's a spiritual practice. There's also a Moon, Mars, Neptune thing going on. This deepens the emotional exploration because it opens supportive energy, fresh ways to deal with sensitive, painful feelings, the past, family stuff, your own defensiveness, your own psychological, familial karma, stuff like that. And you may be feeling a deep compassion, though, because of this trine. Compassion for yourself, compassion for your family, compassion for others, forgiveness for past hurts, and maybe aiming towards, instead of feeling angry, aiming towards this heartfelt drive towards a forward-facing dream. Mars is also drive, courage, passion, connecting to other people, sharing your story, your music, your art, your creative expression, whatever that may be. Your voice, your story. That girl's story touched me. I hope it touched your heart too. Your unique human voice and experience. I like you just the way you are. I hope you have a beautiful full moon in Cancer, and I will talk to you next time. Okay.